Oh, I've got some more pictures. Do you want to see some more pictures? Yeah! See some more pictures. I was going to talk to you briefly about sports, ladies and gentlemen. Snooker and darts have seen their viewing figures steadily decline since the introduction in 1983 of remote controls. Just 22% of Liverpool fans reside in Liverpool. The rest are on remand in other cities. Wayne Rooney. He's not as clever as he looks. Let's talk about technology. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking is sort of half man, half computer. I bet when he dies, it's a virus. He's got medical insurance and Norton. In America, they're called astronauts. In Russia, they're called cosmonauts. And in Britain, they're called balloonists. The greatest ride at Disney is the girl that works in the Toffee Apple kiosk. Pornography. I'll come to that later. If you'll pardon the expression. And the expression, of course, will be that of a turtle shitting. The thing with internet porn is it still has the power to surprise us. I saw something on the internet the other day that really shocked me. It was one man having sex with one woman. There was no gangbang, no DP, no anal, no dwarves, no three-way, no water sports, no girl-on-girl, no gagging, no rimming, no granny fanny, no DV, no DA, no she-males, no MILFs, and no one looked barely legal. It was just one man having sex with one woman. I thought, well, who comes up with this crazy shit? Let's talk about sex. Adult supervision. To me, adult supervision sounds like the ability to see through bras. The average speed of ejaculation is 43 miles per hour, which is why it's so important to keep it away from children. 20 is plenty. Around children, you've got to be very careful with the language that you use. For example, say fiddlesticks instead of vibrators. I don't think lesbians should be allowed to use vibrators. You've made your decision. No more sin on the fence. Either. Someone told my girlfriend the best way to improve oral sex was to hum. All I'm saying is the theme from Corrie is not erotic. Anal sex for women is like Marmite. It's brown and it smells funny. Condoms come in packs of 3, ideal for married couples because there's birthdays, Christmas, Valentine's. I don't think you should ever treat a woman as a sex object, but I do think you should give them a rinse after you've used them. You don't agree? You'd rather be left looking like a plasterer's radio? My girlfriend's got a cleanliness problem downstairs. Yeah, the kitchen's a fucking state. I'm joking. She's actually got a virulent yeast infection in her vagina. Let's talk about relationships. The last relationship I had, I ruined by blurting out, "I love you," too early, which gave away the fact I was hiding behind the curtains. People often ask me about most embarrassing moment. It's probably when I first got introduced to my girlfriend's parents. I remember my girlfriend saying, "There's the bad man there." I don't like the term partner, because it makes it sound like we're fighting crime. I don't like the term housewife or stay-at-home mum. I prefer to say lazy sluts. My girlfriend says she's good at doing 2 things at the same time. If that's the case, why is a threesome out of the question? Don't judge me, I improvised. It's not that bad, it's got a face. I often walk around the house naked till the neighbours chase me inside. Some friends of mine just had a baby, but because of some issues, they had to use a surrogate mother, and because of a medical thing, they had to use a sperm donor. So really what I'm saying is, some people I don't know just had a baby. One of the symptoms of having conjunctivitis is that when you wake up in the morning, your eyes are so sticky you can hardly open them. My girlfriend has it a lot. Sometimes she gets conjunctivitis on her tits. Right, final one of these. This is my favourite joke in the show. I'm going to try not to fuck it up, but I slightly fucked it up last night because I giggled halfway through. But I'm going to dig deep for Birmingham. Come on. Okay. I can do this. When I broke up with my first wife, I didn't want anything from her in the settlement, except a pint of milk, 4 egg yolks, a vanilla pod, an ounce of caster sugar, and 2 fluid ounces of single cream. She mixed the whole up in a bowl, and she threw it in my face. But on the plus side, I did get custody. I'll do. Good. I was asked recently, Glasgow, by like a proper publishing company said to me, do you want to write an autobiography? And I've given it a little bit of thought. I've made some notes, and I thought we might go through the notes this evening and see whether we think it's a good idea for me to write a book. Just out of interest, if I wrote a biography, who here would buy it? Well, it might just be worthwhile. You never know your luck. Well, look, I've been asked to write it, so I thought I'd make some notes. Obviously, my first thought when they said, do you want to write a biography, was, well, I wish I'd kept a journal, but I never kept a journal because I'm not a fat goth girl. The first thing you've got to talk about, if you write one of these kind of cash-in on your fame biographies, you've got to talk about being famous. You know, has fame changed me? No, I've always been a bit of a cunt. It's a very odd thing being famous. I get this thing happen now where about once a week someone will come up to me in the street and go, I know you from somewhere. Do we go to school together? And I've discovered there's no way to say to another human being, no, we didn't go to school together, but do you own a television? Without sounding like a total fucking arsehole. What, sorry? Is that Buckfast? No, that's water. You've probably heard of it. Who's the most famous person I've ever met? Well, I once met her. It's quite an impressive one. I don't want to show off, but you know how villages have got idiots, yeah? I met the idiot for the whole of Glasgow. Yeah. Yes, he's one of the biggest cunts in the world, yeah. And you married him. That is, again, that will only happen in Glasgow. You call someone a cunt and their wife goes, yep. Oh, don't I know? Fucking hell. Yeah, I'll record it in Glasgow, it'll be fine. Really? Really? We'll kick off with some thoughts and ideas that I've had recently. Right, so, if you like looking at flowers but you can't be arsed with gardening, simply run down a kid outside your house. Can't believe you didn't think of it. On bonfire night, I hope our neighbours keep their pets locked up because there's something about fireworks that makes me really horny. You don't get many homeless gay men, which is a shame because they'd be fucking bums. I was outside a nightclub recently and I discovered that women can be bouncers if you're travelling fast enough when you mount the pavement. The thing I worry about when I hear kids in the third world are working 18 hours a day to make my trainers is, when are they going to get a chance to finish my fucking laptop? I was in a hotel having breakfast, and the waiter said to me, he said, "You want white or brown toast?" I said, "All toast is brown. You're thinking of bread." At any one time, a bowl of nuts on a bar will have 17 different types of urine on them. And that's why they're called peanuts. Wayne Rooney wears the number 10 shirt, or as he calls it, the stick and the circle. All the celebrities get plastic surgery these days. Colleen Rooney's just had some work done on her arsehole. He's had hair transplant. My friend reckons football violence and aggressive behaviour are triggered by primitive tribal rivalries, which are projected onto opposing teams and then expressed through exaggerated displays of loyalty. But he's a lying gooner twat, so he can suck my fucking cock. All that groaning and grunting in women's tennis, it reminds me of sex, in that I'm watching it happen on screen whilst masturbating. To explain spot fixing in cricket, it's what happens when something I don't understand is done by someone I've never heard of in the middle of something I couldn't give a fuck about. Spiders used to give me nightmares. Anyone else? Yeah, so what I've done is I've stopped eating them just before bedtime. Of course, the worst thing about being bitten by a poisonous spider is that you're probably Australian. Are there any Australians in? Welcome back. I don't like zoos. I prefer to see lions, tigers, elephants and bears in their natural environment. The circus. Here's a random fact. It's random, but it's true. 1 in 10 British kids is now conceived in an IKEA bed. True. How it works is their parents insert flap A into slot B and then screw until the nuts tighten. In 2009, Nadia Suleiman of California gave birth to octuplets, 2 daughters and 6 sons, earning her the nickname Octomum, although she's also known as Giganto-Snatch. Those babies were walking before she was. The big advantage to being famous, as I see it, is if I ever get Alzheimer's, I'm going to be absolutely fine. If I ever forget who I am, I'll be fine. Because as I wander around town for the day, people are constantly going, oh, look, Jimmy Carr. Oh, look, Jimmy Carr. Oh, look, Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr. So if I forget my identity, I'll be constantly reminded. The downside to that is about 5% of the time people get it wrong and think I'm Alan Carr. So about once a week I'd end up back at the care home sucking off an old fella. Oh, I don't really like it. Looks. Let's talk about my looks. Well, could be worse. It could have been a pop-up book. Looking at me, you wouldn't think I was voted the 4th sexiest man in Britain. And you'd be right. I wasn't. People often ask, how do you get the Jimmy Carr look? Well, get your mother to drink heavily during pregnancy. Sorry, mate, no offence. I do look a little like Roger Federer, and a lot like Ian Beale's daughter from EastEnders. Yeah, I wish that wasn't funny. I wish that didn't ring true, but sadly it does, doesn't it? It's an odd thing, being on TV, being on stage in front of all you people, it makes you more vain than you should otherwise be. I mean, I'm a 37-year-old man. I shouldn't be vain at all. I realise you can't polish a turd. But you can roll it in glitter, can't you? So you do the best with what you've got. And I always try and make the best of myself, try and, dress well and present myself well. It only ever leads to embarrassment, Vanity. I remember the first time I did a room this size in London, my older brother came to the gig. Yeah, I've always, looked up to my older brother. He came to the show, came backstage afterwards. He didn't say anything about the performance. He just went, "Are you wearing makeup?" And to my eternal shame, I went, "No, it's tinted moisturiser." I realise now, I couldn't have sounded gayer to him with 2 cocks in my mouth. Before I do, can I just ask, you two there, you look quite young. How old are you?
18.
You're 18?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you adding 6 years to your age? Because you think I might be a fucking idiot? You're 18, but you've got a growth hormone problem of some description. Not even, you're genuinely 18?
Yeah.
God, I've forgotten how young an 18-year-old boy looks like. Is that a bad thing to say? It's quite bad, isn't it? And your boyfriend, how old is he? What?
It's my brother.
It's your brother? Well, don't shag him then. I noticed that your shirt, is that a fashion thing? It looks like it's covered in spunk. But honestly, stand up and turn around. It's an amazing shirt. It's probably... What? Come on. Look at that. Right. It's quite a cool design when you look at it closely, but if you just glance at it, it looks like a plasterer's radio. That is a term used in the dogging fraternity, I believe. As in, I was out for the evening with Stan Collymore, I drove away with a car looking like a plasterer's radio. I've got a terrible boss, self-employed, and I'm currently on sexual harassment charges. Of course, on the other hand, you are looking at Employee of the Month. How can I explain what it's like? You know when you walk past like an electrical goods store and they've got all the TVs in the store hooked up to one camera and you kind of do that weird thing of waving at yourself as you walk by? And there's an odd moment where you go, well, I don't want to stop waving because I'm still waving. That's what Channel 4 is like for me. I'm like their fucking screensaver. And for the moment, it's just stand-up and TV for me. My acting career has been put on hold, and that was a decision taken by you, the British public. Yeah, a lot of comedians that I started with have now gone to Hollywood to make movies, which is great, you know, well done them. But there's something called loyalty, and there's something else called a lack of talent and no offers. I've just noticed, can you all just keep a little bit quiet for a second? I've just noticed there's a man over there in a blue jumper. I think he might be asleep. If you could just keep quiet around him, just shush, shush. Oh, fuck, he's woken. Fuck. Hello? You're having a fucking weird dream, aren't you? I wouldn't fall asleep again. Something very bad will happen. I was going to teabag him. Shit. It's annoying, isn't it?
Hello, my name's Jimmy Carr, and I've got a brand new tour called Laughs Funny. Now, here's the interesting thing. There's 2 shows every night. One at 7, one at 9:30. Not to put too fine a point on it, I had a bit of a run-in with the tax man. So it's one for me, one for them. Come to the second show, there'll be more heckling.